Trinidad and Tobago always get sidetracked. Go and check the history. Go to the university and ask those people there. Identify the slaves. This is not Jamaica, in which there were slaves. This is Trinidad and Tobago. And if I am wrong, some historian outside there, call and correct me. Because I'm prepared to be educated. But then the people I have spoken to that were older than me, they have identified, to me, fact or fiction, I haven't seen it, I never read it, I accept it, like the Prime Minister wants you to accept that the system is flawed and he's following the Constitution. He's following the Constitution on technicalities when he wants you to believe that he's following the Constitution. With that said, I welcome Philip. Good morning.
Morning, Robert. Good morning, Kevin. Good morning to all the loyal listeners on 104.7. Good morning to all the people following us on social media. Robert, you're raising some powerful points there. Some points that cannot be disputed. And your prosecutors prosecute a matter. You're prosecuting this matter. And the way you're prosecuting this matter is spot on. Prime Minister is a liar. Our Prime Minister has continuously hijacked the Parliament. There's no other way to say it. We are faced this morning, Trinidad and Tobago, and us in this room, everybody listening, are faced with the appointment of a commissioner we want to have a go at the office. We want Gary to have a go at the office of Commissioner of Police because everybody thinks that Gary, based on his experience, based on his knowledge, based on what he says, that he has the right mix of skills and passion to actually make a difference. We all agree on that. But we find ourselves confounded by the way he was appointed. So we are trapped by not having a way to say, I support Gary, but I am disgusted in the way the process was handled. Every single thing that Keith Rowley said about the process, if you put Emailgate aside, everything that Keith Rowley said about the process at every step of the way contradicts the next thing he says. Check that out. Robin Montano, who goes on record and says he is Gary's attorney, says, Mr. Rowley, Dr. Rowley, how can the same flawed process that blocks two admit one?
Well, on a technicality, here's what he will tell you. Dulal Chan did not apply for the job as commissioner. Philip did not apply for the job as commissioner. Exclude those two.
Right.
But Stephen Williams did apply.
Right.
And he did come. And he did get all the ratifications. And the only rationale that the Prime Minister could have used, bearing in mind that he said the process is no good. And if this happens now based on Griffith's age, Griffith is in that office for another 10 years.
I want to ask you a question. The term meritless.
Right.
Who compiled the merit list? The Police Service Commission?
As far as I am aware, that's the only person who could do it because he
and sent it to the president?
Yeah, Keith Rowley told the country that the only person that have any say in this is the Police Service Commission.
Right.
He said that.
He said those words.
He had nothing to do with it.
He said those
He's
words.
not getting involved. He can't get involved.
He said those words.
If you can't get involved, how are you being strayed by the satisfaction of the population? This has nothing to do with the population.
Keith Rowley supposed to wake up this morning
with a headache
and fire the entire Police Service Commission.
He should have.
Because as far as Keith Rowley is concerned, the Police Service Commission sent him a corrupt and flawed merit list.
Well, I didn't look at it from that point of view, but I agree with you.
If you had to appoint the fourth man down on the list, what the hell the Police Service Commission doing?
Correct.
What did they make their merit list on?
It had to be on something that they didn't.
So this was either a stunt. Robert, this could be a complete and high-level stunt in this country. That this veto power that the Prime Minister exercised on the appointment is what is causing a sour taste. Rudal Munilan has sat down in the parliament and I listened to the government's position and I listened to the opposition's position. And Rudal Monilal's point makes sense. If you look at the list and you see somebody that you want to appoint, come to the parliament.
And that would have been the job.
Come to the parliament.
That would have
Say,
been the job.
we support Gary Griffith. The opposition would have been hard pressed to not support Gary Griffith
And I
based
don't
on
agree.
based on the knowledge they have of his ability, and Rudal Monilal said so. Why corrupt the process? Why jump through so many hoops, as you said earlier, to make it look like this? You discredit everybody else based on spurious arguments. You bring into the conversation in the parliament strangers to the parliament, unnamed commentators who have opinions. There are opinions surrounding Gary Griffith with regards to politics, with regards to Keith Rowley's own damning accusations against him, which I have written 2 letters. I have written a letter to the speaker, and I asked the speaker, stick a pin in that debate and put Rowley on the spot and tell him that it is an affront to natural decency and justice that you can nominate a man that you accused of these heinous and damning crimes.
And that is a real serious situation.
It doesn't go away. It does not go away. Now, I have also written Keith Rowley himself, and I've asked him to come clean with the nation, yes or no. When asked by Rudal Monilal, Robert, in Rowley's response to Monilal, I felt so sick sitting in what's supposed to be the most hallowed of chambers in this country, the parliament, and to hear this man twist and turn and lie and deceive in the most obscene manner. Here is his response. Because I have put into the conversation a question. Now, if Trinidadians remember Emailgate, all of the damning allegations are against Gary Griffith. All of the admissions that he did wrong, according to Keith Rowley in Parliament, May 20th, 2013, 1:56 p.m.
You understand that for me, so I'll pull it up and play.
It's you could YouTube it, you could Google it, but I'll send it to you. But Keith Rowley's own words, it is only Gary Griffith that admitted to wrongdoing. Nobody else did. If you remove Gary Griffith from Emailgate, all you have is Kamala, Anand, and Suraj Rambachan bitching and moaning. Insert Captain Gary Griffith, and you have somebody admitting
But something wrong was done.
to doing wrong,
Yeah.
according to Keith Rowley. And that is still there. Now, Gary Vex, that I am raising these issues, he unfriend me on Facebook. But somebody has to raise these issues. You see, Robert, I wasn't there when Keith Rowley accused Gary of Emailgate and before them. But I used critical thinking and deduction. And I want to tell you something. There is something sinister and dark about the way the PNM is allowed to bring charges against people on nothing more than hearsay.
And that's exactly what happened in the parliament when he turned around clearly.
Forget Emailgate for a second.
No, I'm not talking about
Go back to Chief Justice Sharma.
Okay.
Go back to Sherman McNichols, who in the end refused to support his own allegations. He is dead now.
Yeah, dead man tell no tales.
But on record, he had 2 positions. He accused the Chief Justice then, Sat Sharma, of certain words that there is no way to corroborate his word against his word. And then after all the bacchanal and all the Privy Council and all the Mustel investigation and all the costs to this nation, Sherman McNichols refused to testify. The only man on whose word there was a matter. Sherman McNichols should have been jailed. The chief magistrate should have been stripped of all authority
Well, you
and prosecuted. Robert, you have to get into this.
You don't know whether he's in a hell right now because the man is gone. I mean, what we're talking about, he went down there paying penance. can't come out of
I don't know if Satan want to take care of Trinidad business.
It's not so.
I think Satan tells St. Peter, you know what? You see Trinidad, all you handle that.
Yeah, boy.
Because we ain't want to do this. You see that kind of bacchanal?
I think it's Satan, and I think it's illicit business.
Check
Those
email.
are the two things that really take
The
it back.
eerie comparisons between, I don't want to touch on matters that are currently before the court, but there are too many cases in politics in Trinidad where people are given cases, charges laid against them based only on hearsay testimony. Emailgate scandalized the office of president in the first paragraph. I give it to the president, but he do jack all with it for 6 months.
Yeah, he didn't touch
He
it.
was drinking rum and whining on little red girls. That's what Rowley insinuated.
I don't know if he insinuated that.
But that was the picture in the paper
Oh, that was the picture.
of Max whining on some girls in a band launching.
Oh. I
So
understand how he made the
Max
statement.
is a partyist,
Yeah, I hear
but
you.
for something as significant. Because you see, there's a reason the PNM don't like me. And Faris Kid Rowley, Fitzgerald Hines Short Young,
No, you have to call one other name.
They-
Come in.
they don't
They're your friend.
they don't fool me. I just hear what they do say. I just trap them on their own words. Keith Rowley said to the nation he was aghast at the allegations. What was contained in Emailgate was a conspiracy to murder a journalist.
Totally correct.
Robert, I would have been aghast. You would too.
Everybody would.
We would have been aghast. Our jaw would have been on the floor. We'd have said, listen,
And
today,
how
I'm
much-
taking action.
How much years later?
Wait,
Nothing.
wait. Wouldn't you, a reasonable man, the court like to use that.
Oh Lord, I
You see,
use that
The
legislation.
court like to say a reasonable man.
would.
A reasonable man. A reasonable man getting Emailgate would call Denise Wren, the police, the DPP, and anybody else he could have think of to call. Keith Rowley called the president. The only man in Trinidad and Tobago that constitutionally has no power.
Correct.
Instead of warning Denise Wren, girl, your life in danger, hop a plane, the Prime Minister, the Attorney General, her National Security Advisor, and her MP plotting to kill you. Hop a plane, we go deal with you after. Like they did for Mark Basant. Remember that went on for a little bit for he? Marcia Braveboy says she hiding in a safe house 5 years now. We have a situation where the Prime Minister, who you want to assume is a reasonable man, had possession of a document that said to him, because he was aghast,
Yeah.
he believed the content of Emailgate to be true. But he didn't call Denise Wren. And he didn't call the
He
police.
didn't raise the red flag to protect the person.
He didn't call the police.
No, he didn't. He didn't call the DPP.
He didn't call the DPP.
No, they were not important people.
No, he
He went
didn't.
to the head.
Robert, there's a...
And you know why? I think it's because his neighbor.
Wait, we come into that. Because he even bring him into the
He
dispute.
brought him into the
Remember
dispute.
the show A Few Good Men with Tom Cruise and Jack
Yeah, yeah,
Nicholson?
yeah.
There's a point in the movie when you realize, because Tom Cruise asking some stupid questions, and then you realize when he weave all of them together into one question, he asked the man sitting on the stand, if you say that when you give an instruction, it is followed or people die, and you say that you instructed that he leave the base, I am asking you, if he was in no danger because
Why?
of your instruction, why give 2 orders? Why give 2 orders?
Well, if-
Robert, this is the same thing I have with Keith Rowley. When Keith Rowley went to Ken Gordon, you just raised that.
Yeah. But that was the next problem.
No, Ken Gordon, you are Ken Gordon, you're sitting on your porch, looking at the western view from Newberry Hill, sipping on a single malt. I say, as the opposition leader, you wouldn't bring out the 24-year-old, you might bring out the 12. It's not the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
You're sipping on a
They might be on regular.
You're sipping a single malt, you take it in the view, and this man hands you a document. Ken Gordon too is a reasonable man, wouldn't you assume?
I think he's a reasonable.
Kevin, would you think the chairman of the Integrity Commission would have been appointed based first that he was a reasonable man?
Yeah, he
Had to be a reasonable man.
And not only that, his son is now heading the marijuana situation in Jamaica.
He reasonable too.
He reasonable.
But I'm saying that to any law, any court, any justice, anybody else, Ken Gordon had to be a reasonable man. So when Keith Rowley went to the president, who is not a reasonable man, he wasn't aghast. He was whining and drinking. Snatch it back. Bring it to Ken. Ken, as a reasonable man, was aghast too. But Ken didn't call the police.
No, didn't.
Ken didn't call the DPP.
Privileged information coming there about the life of a person.
Ken, as chairman of the Integrity Commission, didn't feel that it made sense. Even though, as a reasonable man, he was aghast. Didn't call Denise Wren. Your life is in danger. 3 reasonable men. No, 2. The president not. All 2 out of the 3 aghast. Got Rowley to think, you know what? Action has to be taken.
Yeah, boy, go in the parliament.
No, wait.
Kick us anytime.
Wait. When you as a reasonable man say, you know what? Between me and Ken, over this single malt, agree as reasonable men, this have substance. In Ken Port Robert, as a reasonable man, wouldn't you have called Denise Wren?
I would have called Denise Wren.
Wouldn't you have called the Commissioner of Police, Stephen Williams?
Course.
Was Stephen acting then? No,
Yeah,
who was?
he would have been-
Gibbs. I'd have called Gibbs. Gibbs. Here what's going on, eh? The Prime Minister, the Attorney General, her National Security Advisor, and Suruj Rambachan are plotting to kill Denise Wren. Secure her one time. I have the information all over 6 months, but as the president fall, we'll talk about that after. Me and Ken Gordon, who is a reasonable man,
I'm coming by.
we agree.
Yeah, I'm coming by.
We agree.
Turn them down. Say-
Take action. When you sat on Ken Gordon's porch as a reasonable man, and you and Ken agree, the Bible says, once 2 or more of us agree, action. You and 2 reasonable men agree, the first of you all should have picked up the phone and called Denise Wren. The second of you all should have called the police commissioner. The third of you all should have called the DPP, because his name in the thing. And I call Ivor Archie. Ivor, they say you complicit in this document. Heads up, bro.
Yeah.
None of those calls were made. Not B, not A from the SSA. All your name and they say, get all your lawyers ready. Nothing.
Nothing.
As a reasonable man, all Keith Rowley did.
But hold on for a second. I'm looking at a woman on TV last night, and I am wondering, in all of this email gate, the Prime Minister tells the country that one of the reasons why also I think Gary Bababab, that changed my mind, he was the only man that gave up all
Oh God,
his.
Robert, you press fast forward on the thing, man. You press fast forward on the
Everybody
thing. But that's what got me sick. This is what got me upset. I lead into this. I got up in the parliament, I looked around, and I said, this is a lie. And I left, because I would have gotten sick. I'd have vomit on the expensive waterfront carpet.
Yeah, boy.
To hear Keith Rowley, who as a reasonable man, did nothing of substance but played naked politics with a document that had him aghast, that suggested that Denise Wren's life was in danger, that Ken Gordon agreed, even though the president was drunk. Ken Gordon, another reasonable man, agreed. Keith Rowley did nothing but play politics with it. And when he went to the parliament, because the question I am asking still is this: do you, Keith Rowley, still believe the accusations and the allegations you made against Gary Griffith?
Yes.
On the 20th of May 2013 at 1:56 p.m.,
If you cannot say no, then
Keith
the
Rowley
process is
said,
on.
this is what that reasonable man said in the parliament. Because I laid this morning at the feet of every PNM supporter and every public office holder. Hang your heads in shame.
Yeah.
Hang your heads. Listen, from the DPP come down. Hang your heads in shame. Hear this.
And when I play the rest of the clips in order for
Brother,
you during this
brother,
week,
never saying.
you will understand.
Never
what I'm
saying,
saying.
never saying. Hang them from the petard of their own words.
The
It is.
opposition leader does not even understand.
Robert Kamla
that
need to be
it was-
fired.
that
Kamla need to be fired.
It was hook,
She
line,
is
and
she is
sinker.
facilitated by complicity. She needs to be removed. We don't have a real opposition leader. Because if I was opposition leader in the parliament on Monday, I would have tear him apart. Rudal stand up there like a dog with the tail between the legs. He want to growl, but he know you have a slipper. I know them in the UNC have so much cocoa in the sun, and you pluck a man from their cabinet and make him commissioner of police. UNC panicking, you know. Because they do some things, and they know they do some things. We are in a place, murky, dark water in this country. But stick a pin. Come back to Keith Rowley's answer. I fell in love with the man. I saw him in a new and sexy light. He was the only one who turned over his devices.
Correct. And I wondered, what was the picture of Kamala Prasad with her lawyers walking up the step of the police commissioner office with her devices to hand it over?
But I saw this scene at the end of the movie. Keith Rowley standing there in a field, breeze blowing through his scarf. I see Gary running in slow motion with a laptop on a phone and swing into embrace with Keith Rowley. These are my devices, darling. Because that's how this fool make it sound. As a reasonable man, he made a clown of himself and the parliament. So, okay, Rudal Munilal is not the right man that I would have said, Mr. Speaker, point of order, Mr. Prime Minister. If that is your answer, and you fell in love when Gary handed over his devices in response to your allegations in 2013, 5 years ago, when did you fall in love? Because up to this year, you saying Emailgate is fact. And if you remove your allegations against this man that you now love, no homo, just love. But if you remove the allegations against Gary Griffith, if you remove Gary Griffith from Emailgate, the entire thing collapses.
Your credibility gets...
There is nothing there. Without the allegations against Gary Griffith that Gary set up Denise Wren, that Gary had information on her, that Gary was going to scandalize her name, add stuff and give it to the UNC to mash she up, that Gary was going to contact B in SSA to corruptly, illegally wiretap the DPP. Without that, there is no ooh, ah in the parliament. There's only Kamla and Anand and Suruj bitching. But that's what they do. That is not Emailgate. That's Bitchgate.
Bitchgate.
Without Gary, there's no Emailgate.
We take a quick break and we'll be back. People, stay tuned. The thing got hot. But listen, if you thought it was hot today, join me on Monday when the fire will be turned on. And when I come back, I'm just going to play the 42-second clip from Camila Gainford here, because I want you to focus. Focus! The Prime Minister told this country that the Police Service Commission under the Constitution, if the process has to work, can only send one name at a time. One name! Unless I'm wrong. Another you more influential and educated people call and tell me after the show where I am wrong. 738-3943. I say it again slowly. 738-3943. I'll answer the phone. But in the meanwhile, you have some bills to pay.
Thursday, 30th August, the night before Independence, the most celebrated radio DJs that rule the parties and rock the hook lines.
Hello. Alright. No problems. Cool. Import. Yeah. Understood. No problems. Okay. Right on.
Make this school year an epic one with back-to-school specials at Value Optical. Get the coolest eyewear with the very best in lens technology. Discounts up to 50% for your entire crew. Bring your friends and family to enjoy light, intelligent lenses. Visit us at store for details. Terms and conditions apply. Kick off the new term with back-to-school specials from Value Optical. Caring for your eyes.
Don't think twice. Super quality will never be beaten on price. Chaguanas. Conveniently located at Trin City, Hoover, and Endeavor Road, Chaguanas. Come experience the comfort, ease of shopping from your one-stop for variety. Look out for our weekly specials. For further details, call 223-9715. Super quality, never beaten on price.
Looking for some tasty soup today? Well, the place you need to be is the Bossa Soup. If it's not the boss, it's not the best. The Bossa Soup is open every Monday to Saturday from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Sundays from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. Any day of the week you feel the urge to eat a soup, come to any one of our outlets and pick up your favorite soup. Locations in Port of Spain, number 48 Traffic Road, in Diego Martin, at West Beach, in Arima, corner of Prince Street and El Carmen Street, in Sandy Grande, Two-Way Road Junction, Chaguanas, opposite Medford Gas Station, and Point Lisas, inside Atlantic Mall. Locations nationwide, so there's no reason why you can't have your bowl of soup whenever you like. The only place where you get a bowl of soup every day. The Bossa Soup. If it's not the boss, it's not the best. For more information, call 389-4455.
Mona Lisa! Mona Lisa! The event is on! We have a new date and all tickets are valid. August 11th. August 11th. Same venue. Capitol Retreat at the Center of Excellence. Keep it locked on to F104 with 7 FM. Your official station of Mona Lisa.
We are back. We are back. 18 minutes before 12 o'clock. That time check comes to you with the kind courtesy of Hearty Foods. Yes, go on out to Hearty Foods and enjoy the bargains that are available out there. Located in Arima, Sozano Street, and it's just by the dial. You can't miss it at all. And they got parking. So that is one time the record wouldn't make no money off it. You're sure when you go by Hearty, you're leaving with your 500 in your pocket, more money to spend for groceries, grog, alcohol, juice, or even one of their appliances, which are on specials. So, Philip, you're down at Creek, bud.
We sitting in our country this morning, Robert, that you and I are the opposition.
You think the people understand that?
Check this. There is nobody today for you and I to go to. I spoke to Transparency International. They, reasonable people, are aghast.
Yeah, no, they can't see. Cataract.
We have a place, we are at a place now that everything that you and I saying are more than grounds for investigations. There is nobody for you and I to turn to today. The president has no power. The DPPs are interested. He's a named party. The witness is now the commissioner of police. We have a problem. Keith Rowley cannot be allowed to escape responsibility for Emailgate. We are allowing a man to get away with treason. We cannot sweep this under the rug. If Keith Rowley believed that Gary, when he handed over his devices immediately, was a man worthy of love and respect, why is Keith Rowley and Faris Al-Rawi saying to this day that Emailgate is fact?
You know,
Those
I
two
was
things
making a point.
cannot exist.
Last night, interestingly enough, I went up on a system and I was reviewing about, what do they call it, like a search engine optimization plan. And the lady was giving some indicative information, because in order for you to go up on Google Analytics, you have to be able to have your IP address and all that kind of thing. So when you put it in there, when you're doing the analytics, your things wouldn't be involved in the analysis. Because if you don't put those as
They exclude your search criteria.
Correct.
Right.
And she says, if you want to find your IP address, it's very easy. All of these email gates, all of these documents that are floated around, once you know the device, and you go on and you say, what's my IP address? It's as easy as that.
Yeah, but you see, my problem this morning, Robert, my problem this morning is this. It is too easy.
Yes.
It is too easy in Trinidad and Tobago to have Charlie make an allegation against Robert, and have Williams say, yeah, I was there.
Yeah, true.
That's too easy. There are too many high-level matters in this country based on circumstantial evidence.
Let me tell you a better one. And again, a lot of people don't
But
understand.
but you understand what I'm trying to say here?
I understand.
Everybody who stands up now in this country have to face and they have to measure and they have to weigh. I am in a country that has the capacity to be first world and developed, but I am also in a junta. I'm in a banana republic. I'm in a place where
Mugabeville.
rules don't apply.
Yeah, it doesn't.
Real law comes here to die. There are nobody. Robert,
situation.
when we
It's
send
the
our
situation
Speaker of the House to meet with other first world speakers of the House, they look at her and think she's a real speaker like they are real speakers. We have a situation where a man posted pictures of himself lying down in a bed with a senior law officer. A senior officer of the court. Not going nowhere.
No, it went to the Privy Council. And the Privy Council reserved their rules.
We have a situation where the appointment of even high judicial officers in this country has collapsed. We have a situation where the Prime Minister used the Parliament to pervert the course of appointment of a commissioner. And I want to go back to what Rudal Modilal said because I want to say this to people of Trinidad and Tobago and I agree with this. Nobody in Trinidad and Tobago believed the Mailgate.
I don't think so.
Nobody believed Gary Griffith did the things that Keith Rowley said he did. Nobody, everybody happy to have Gary Griffith try his hand. I know, I was there. Everybody happy to have Gary Griffith try his hand. What nobody understands is why corrupt the process?
And the process corrupt since February the 17th, you know.
So you have to blame Roti Shop, Highway Roti Shop. You have to blame Land Matter. You have to blame, well, I get a report about the state of the police service and it's because of that I don't like Stephen Williams. But Stephen Williams was never the commissioner of police.
But Stephen Williams came back in the newspaper today. Every single day I receive calls from key people in society who have recognized what I have done for Trinidad and Tobago. And for me, that's fulfilling.
But the extent of the doublespeak is this. You are hiring one man based on his potential, but refuse to properly appoint a man that is already in the job. And I am saying,
Again, well, no, I want caveat. Against the background that you keep probably have told us that the process is no good. The
And
process that you're using to appoint, to give a man a job that will be there for 10 years.
this is like Faris and
10 years.
this is like Faris and the email gate again. When Faris said, even if the email gates are proven false, the substance of the emails are sensible. And I said then, that is Faris telling the nation, if you see a cowboy in a ballerina outfit riding on a unicorn, and you know unicorns don't exist.
Call him a politician.
But besides that, you see a cowboy in a ballerina outfit riding on a unicorn, and you know for a fact that unicorns don't exist. Still, pay attention to the cowboy. That is Faris.
Yep.
And if you control the media, you could do that. You could still keep the cowboy in his ballerina outfit dangling in midair. Ignore the fact that the unicorns don't exist. What did he ride in on? Forget that. He's there. He's a cowboy.
He's a
Robert,
cowboy.
this is our situation this morning. That Trinidadians, even if you wake them all up, what is our next step? 50,000 of us outside the Prime Minister's office. If Trinidadians cared enough,
listen, we will
if,
know.
no, but wait, if
Fair enough.
Trinidadians cared enough about their democracy to come out, is that our only choice?
Well, that's a good choice because at this stage
Is
we don't
that-
even exercise that.
Is that our only choice?
Well, no, we could join the gay pride.
Yeah,
we
like
could join the gay pride.
Yeah, everybody went out for
movement. We could join that.
I was popular.
Very popular. Quite a number of people.
Then come into what you said, the gay project.
As a matter of fact, I was thinking to go in.
No.
Yeah. No, I am not.
No,
That doesn't give me the
no,
right not to go.
no, but you know, no, they have this thing now that they express love between, because I was going to ask a question.
Yeah.
Because and I say this as an aside, what they're asking for is the right so that if, let's say, Kevin and his boyfriend in a relationship,
Hear that now.
No. No. Don't use my name as that. I'm not just suggesting.
don't even use it.
That's
All
false.
right, but
No.
two women, I'm sure you know that.
That's better.
Oh, much better.
Two women are in a relationship, whether it's sexual or not, people should be able to designate somebody as a significant person in their life and share their assets with and leave their assets for them if they die. Why no civil union exists for people to do that? Why all this again convolution? Why we can't just say, listen, people are entitled to that. It doesn't have to involve sex. And I don't want to watch a gay pride parade every time and think, who doing what to who? It shouldn't come down to that.
No, it's not supposed to come.
It should be a simple matter of human beings have certain rights, and among those rights is who I consider the significant person in my life. But I want to stick a pin there because I want to come back to this, and I know that you have information that you would like to share. And the reality of the situation exists like this, that there is no office of state in Trinidad and Tobago that you and I could go today and report the Prime Minister.
Yeah.
But the Prime Minister is the chief operative in a lot of wrongdoing in this country. And the only place I could see him is in a defamation court.
True.
That's the only place I can get to talk to him. And that's the only place they're willing to go. That is the last bastion of it. Shut them down. Make sure they can't speak. Because if this morning, this radio station was playing, no talk. Don't talk about it. Keep the people drunk, bent over, and stupid.
Just hold them and walk them.
Third wealthiest
Hold them and walk them.
nation in the Western
Hold
Hemisphere.
them and walk them.
Raid, plunder, and pillage.
GT could burn down.
You
Hold
sing
them
it,
and
Kevin.
walk
Where you
them.
back up? I know you're singing these days on the
I
radio.
know.
But Robert, it's a fact.
No, that's the fact. That's the
They
fact.
want to shut people up by whichever means necessary.
People, 8 minutes before 12 o'clock, before we get into any more long talk, let's just hear what Camille had to say for 40-something seconds, and then we'll rejoin you with after the commercials. Okay, and wind up the show. Stay tuned. Here is what she actually said in total.
Turn it up.
The notification of His Excellency, the President, in respect of the nomination of Mr. Deodat Dulaljan for the appointment to the Office of Commissioner of Police. The notification of His Excellency, the President, in respect of the nomination of Mr. Deodat Dulaljan for appointment to the Office of Deputy Commissioner of Police. And the notification of His Excellency, the President, in respect of the nomination of Mr. Harold Phillip for appointment to the Office of Deputy Commissioner.
So in this one sweep, according to the Constitution, according to the rules, according to the regulations, one name is supposed to go one at a time.
If you give so much information to the public, because they're so, and I'm saying it with respect, because they're so easily burdened, they will lose sight of the problem. And you're giving them information that is perfect prosecution material, but you're prosecuting it in a court where nobody's present. Because the truth of the matter is, you're losing them. You're giving them so much information that they're incapable of holding all those thoughts in their mind at the same time. And what you're trying to say is that your Prime Minister said on Monday one thing that Camille Robinson Regis proved weeks before
But
to
not
be
the same.
an untruth.
Okay, people, here are the bills, and when we come back, we wind up.
Tasty soup today? Well, the place you need to be is the Bossa Soup. If it's not the boss, it's not the best. The Bossa Soup is open every Monday to Saturday
Amen.
from 7 a.m. to 7 p.m. and on Sundays from 7 a.m. to
This
7
Sunday,
p.m. Any day of
This
the
Sunday,
week,
I have a meeting this evening. This Sunday, our first television show may be launching. If it is this Sunday, it is a two-person panel. I gonna host. And if it is happening this Sunday, I'm gonna want you as the first guest. One of the first guests, okay? I'll call you and finalize after today's meeting. It's a kind of crossfire conversation. So that'll be people who hold different positions. I would really like to get Fitzgerald Hines on that. But you know they're not coming.
Bossa Soup is not the boss, it's not the best. For more information, call 389-4455.
I wonder if I'll get him on the phone. Hines is gonna make sure when he calling me that his number blocked. So as I have to answer my phone from a call, no call ID.
I just want to talk to you. You want to a job and you're telling him you don't want him to get a job.
Make sure the kids are good to go for back to school. Get Reebok, Nike, Jordan, Fila, K-Swiss, all black, all white. Get the latest spread round bags, all colors and styles. At Fat International Styles. Location on Reebok, San Grande, San Fernando, Princess now, and Trinity Mall. And look up for our brand new store in San Grande. It's the biggest
Apple has become the first company to be valued at $1 trillion. Let's get the update from BBC. Apple is now the first company to be valued at $1 trillion.
Yahoo.
Apple.
Apple, yeah, I know this.
3 biggest companies in the world are all owned by people who do not have one college degree.
Microsoft, Apple, and who next was?
No, it's Apple, Google, Facebook. Microsoft is fourth. Remember when Microsoft used to be number 1?
Amazon up there too.
Amazon in the top 10. All of them.
I see a building some steam with the regional corporations.
This Saturday, we are ready. Come celebrate M1047's 13th
Where are we going from there?
Why not?
style. This Saturday, get ready for the biggest radio station anniversary celebration. It's our 13th anniversary, August 4th. Gravity Car Park, Long Circular Road. It's Coolers to Hawaii. Iconic DJs, the Master Howie T, the Boss Dr. High, the King Kabuki, the Icon Nyabingi. The original DJ Wax and more will be there. Come celebrate with the entire cast of More FM. Largest cooler by 11 p.m. wins 1 bottle Ciroc, Hennessy, and 1 bottle Johnny Walker Black. And look out for some surprises. Tickets now on sale from authorized outlets. It's M1047's 13th anniversary. The only place to be, August 4th, Gravity Car Park.
When the team song, what do you have?
Anniversary
The
to
team song. Is it jingle?
welcome to Hawaii.
More FM jingle.
All right, people, we are back 2 minutes before we close, and just some closing comments. Philip?
Robert, we have a situation where the Prime Minister went in the Parliament on Monday and hijacked it to defend the hijacking that he did 5 years ago. We have a problem. We have to be able to address that. If there are no institutions of state in the country that exist now, the Constitution belongs to the people of Trinidad and Tobago. 50,000 of us need to find ourselves outside the Prime Minister's office and demand that he come straight or vacate office. Are you prepared to put your considerable political weight behind that? Behind calling on people? Let us convene a round table, call David Abdullah and everybody and say, come, let us meet. Like Section 34, this is an assault on our democracy and we need to have it addressed.
I think it should be addressed, and I am definitely in this coming week going to pay very, very detailed attention to this particular thing, because I am not satisfied with the rationales, the reasons, and the way, the methods, the systems. And we can say what we want to say. Bottom line, we're in trouble, and if we don't do something about it, we will always be in trouble.
Thanks a lot for having me on the show.
Until Monday,
Thanks a
when
lot
we
as
be
usual.
back, remember, hey, the best cooler party is coming up this Saturday in Gravity Car Park. And parking is available. Small fee, $10 to park. We have gotten the grounds opposite the venue. And that means to say that you'll be able to park in a secured area. $10 will be the fee, paid at the door, and you will have a vehicle behind.
Yeah, you don't have to park
Yes,
in the street.
you don't have to park.
Let me just jump in here and say thanks a lot, Robert. Thanks a lot, 104.7. Thanks a lot, Trinidad and Tobago. Stay safe.
Okay, people.